You didn't mention Unity Energy like Tesla was talking about in Keeley. I'm just wondering why.
Unity Energy.
Yes. You know Tesla? Have you heard of Nikolai Tesla?
Yes.
Why is no investigation by your institute being done in that regard?
The question was, have I heard about Unity Energy? That was the proponent of which was Tesla, and why we're not looking at that. And I don't really recall what Unity Energy entails, and I haven't really seen any widespread interest in that type of issue, so I'm sorry, I'm blanking out on that.
You might be talking about 0 point.
Yeah.
You're talking about 0 point energy.
Yeah.
Well, 0 point energy doesn't work. I don't. We can talk about that later on, but it's sort of one of those flawed concepts that defies the laws of nature.
As we know it.
As we know them, yes. Yes.
Cradle-to-grave pricing on nuclear energy has been much. Is that kind of shoot it out of the water a bit?
No, there's in fact a lot of that's done. It's very difficult to have really hard numbers, because one of the things in the nuclear industry is that it's really an industry that's subject to regulations, codes and standards that are an order of magnitude more stringent than almost any other power generation type of system. And the cost and the nuclear energy has always been so far subsidized by governments. How much of it is subsidy, how much of it is not, how much of it should be passed on to taxpayers. So there has been some estimates, and a lot of it, I think that the largest costs are always associated with the level of safety and security and minimization of risk over very long terms that you want to impart to burying the high-level nuclear waste. Okay, because obviously the deeper you go, the better it is. The higher, the thicker the shield, the better it is, the more expensive, etc. So the costs vary quite significantly. See, am I missing anyone who's...
You seem to brush over biofuels fairly quickly. I'm just wondering if you are aware of second-generation biodiesel research that's being done in Europe right now. There's a fair bit of excitement about this prospect and using this sort of technology to sort of bridge, between your scenario of future fuel and now.
Yeah, we're aware, and we're watching the literature very carefully. In terms of biofuels, we had one member of the institute work on biomass, production of methane, for example, and just so that I clarify my position, I'm not sweeping aside completely the prospect of biofuels, but questioning their viability if they're deployed on a very, very large scale. They may indeed make a lot of sense locally in certain jurisdictions with processes such as second-generation biodiesels and have efficiencies and favorable outcomes. But if you're looking at a worldwide deployment of biofuels, for example, to provide the primary diesels or gasoline for a very large proportion of the road fleet, I think there are some serious implications and issues, not the least of which is the usage of agricultural land and the impact it has on food production, for example.
Well, the thing with second generation is that you can use any sort of biomass, you can use sewage, you can use forest waste, you don't have to use, and this is why it's a very exciting sort of field. There's a large amount of raw materials that are available for this sort of process. Just wondering why we aren't looking at this in North America at all. I haven't seen any research done in North America in this field, whereas the Europeans have got plants that are producing second generation biodiesel right now, and it's working.
There is, I think, in many ways, in terms of policy and approaches and portfolio of possibilities, we're about 20 years behind Europe. No. Okay, so I mean that's the simple answer to that is that's really a political decision. I mean we're seeing it right now. What's written in the law is that we're going to have a certain number of measures taken in the next few years, but there is behind all of that the agenda. No matter what we do, okay, we're going to increase the production of the tar sands. The same goes on in the States where there is a big focus on coal because of issues of energy security. So we're going to fall back on coal because we have reserves that will last us 10 times as long as what we have in oil. It's fundamentally, I think, not a technology, science, or engineering question, but more of a political issue.